Did you know that your current weight is a direct reflection of your current beliefs? What you've been believing about yourself and the world. And that if it's not what you want, you can change it. Hi, I'm Brian from Live More Life Coaching. Just want to quickly pop in today to check in on everyone. It's week 6 at the time of this recording of 2021. And so for many people who committed, focused, determined, set themselves a weight loss journey, a living healthier challenge at the start of the year, if you decided that that was one of your resolutions, I want to check in with you and see how you're going. I want to know if you're having fun, if you're enjoying the process, if you're experiencing the progress that you want to be making, if you're enjoying the experience. And it's so important to check that in because most people by now will have stopped their healthy habits. They may have returned to some old unhealthy habits. Usually by 6 weeks into the new year, over 80% of people have given up, and stopped. I want to make sure that doesn't happen to you because I know what it's like. Most of you know me. I've lost 50 kilos. I've maintained it for over 13 years now. And it feels amazing to be able to come through every Christmas, every birthday, every New Year, all the public holidays, go through life going, got this, I've got it sorted. And that's why it matters what you're believing. I remember when I was trying for all of those many years to lose weight and failing, when I was starting diets and stopping, when I was being good for a couple of weeks and then going back to my old habits, going off the rails. And I see it happen in lots of my clients, lots of people who come for help with changing their habits. And that is that we fall into the trap of thinking it's hard, that weight loss sucks, that it has to be difficult or awkward or boring or, we have to be deprived in some way. I really want you to think about what your first reaction is and what your emotions are when you think about losing weight. And you think about the process of losing weight. Are you thinking about, yeah, this will be fun, this will be easy, I'm looking forward to it? I never used to be. Or are you dreading it? Are you going, ugh, another thing I have to do, or I have to, or this time maybe you're in the really determined space still. You're going, I have to do it. I'm committed. I'm focused. I'm going to be good. I'm going to get better. I'm going to make healthy choices. And you're in a very convincing type energy, trying to push yourself into it, trying to make yourself believe. And I just wanted to pop on to share that our brain has a cognitive bias, right? And what that means is what we believe to be true, our brain will go looking for the evidence that that is true. Right? You literally are what you believe. You become what you're thinking. So if you think this journey is going to be hard, you're going to have to suffer a lot, it's going to be challenging for you, then it will be. If you think that you have to go without, you have to be deprived, you have to be hungry, well, you'll create that situations because you're believing it's true or the way it needs to be. But that really is just a belief. It's just a thought that we've adopted from someone else probably and taken on board and not challenged. What we do know from looking at the way behavioral change works is that people change the most and they change the fastest when they're enjoying the process of change. When it's fun, you'll change faster. So if you are thinking that it's hard, or that it's difficult, or that you have to go without, or that it's got to be miserable, I really invite you to question that, to challenge it. Who said? What if it doesn't? What if it's easy? What if you can do it in simple, easy to execute steps? What if you can do it without needing loads of motivation or lots of drive or lots of commitment? Are your beliefs, and are they helping? And if they're not, let's change them, right? Our brain will focus on looking for the evidence of what we're believing is true, and it will ignore or discount evidence to the contrary. So of course, when we're thinking it's hard, it's miserable, it's challenging, it's certainly not fun, our brain doesn't go looking for any evidence that it is. But I think it is fun. I think it can be easy. And I know that from my experience because I teach and I encourage you to adopt this idea that you could just make small changes that you can live with, that you actually enjoy, that are fun to do. And if you can do that, you'll be much more likely to actually do them and keep them. That's the key. You make the change and you keep it. And then it starts to become a way of life. And then your capacity, your skill set, your mindset improves, right? Your capability improves. And then new things become possible. I could do a little bit more. I could do a little bit more than that. And then I can do more. Again and again and again. We increase our capacity for success. But it starts from believing that it can be fun, that it can be easy, that we can actually enjoy the experience. So you have to start there. And then we figure out how. Sure. We start small. So what's one thing you could do a little bit better? What's one small change you could make that you'd actually feel good about making, not miserable about making? And remember, sometimes it's just shifting our perception, going, yes, I wanted this. I'm feeling powerful by making this choice. For me, it's fun to say no to some foods now. To be the odd one out, I guess, at a social gathering and go, yeah, John, I'm not having any of that today. And I think that feels fun for me because I realize how much I'm respecting myself when I do so. I'm honoring my goals and my commitments. I'm moving towards where I want to be. And that's fun. I know that it's certainly fun, and most of you will probably tell me it's fun when you're actually losing. When you're losing weight and it's coming off, often you're feeling good about it. You're spurred on by having success. Success breeds more success. But make sure that you're doing it from the process, not the outcome. Make sure the process feels fun. And sometimes that's finding the fun in it. Can you so for instance, I teach and recommend everyone records everything they eat and drink. Write it all down. I believe awareness is key to see what we're actually doing. So much of the time we live our journey in unconscious reaction. We're just doing what we've always done, right? And that's what our brain wants to do. Our brain's very lazy, or it calls it efficient. It likes to be efficient. It likes to use as little energy as possible, which means it likes to use the neural connections it's already got. If your brain thinks you have a solution to solving hunger or to solving emotions, right? A solution to anger, frustration, and boredom. I know, eating. And your brain looks at the primitive parts of your brain that encode a lot of the automatic habits, says, yeah, that worked, you're alive, let's do it again. I've already got that neural network. I've already got those connections in my brain. Well, we just keep using the same ones. Don't want to make new ones. That takes a lot of work. So it always wants to do what it's always done. Your brain likes to be lazy. It always likes to follow through with what it's always done, which is why so many people find the process of change challenging. They find it difficult. And mostly because it's try and take too big a change, or try to make changes for reasons they don't really like, or to just be believing that it's going to be terrible, it's going to be miserable, and you're going to hate it. Why? What's the benefit? Never found that encouraged anyone to actually do it and follow through. So what if it could be fun? What if it could be enjoyable? What if it could be easy for you? Not about anybody else. It doesn't matter for you. And when you start to believe that, your brain can start to go looking, well, how is that true? Where is the evidence for it? And you can start to look for, well, how can I make this choice easier for myself? Can I set up my surroundings? Can I provide the right support network? Can I connect to my why and why that matters? So can I find my motivation for making that choice? How do I make it easier? Can I make it smaller? Can I scale it back? Can I do just the first step? It's so easy so often to get overwhelmed because we try and do everything at once. We try and do too big a change. And then real life happens and we quit because we think it's too hard. But what if we only think it's too hard because we've been doing it wrong all this time? We've been trying to do too much, too soon, too big a change, too many changes at once. Can we break it down? Can we do something smaller? What if it can be fun? What if you can actually enjoy the experience of it? For me, it was such a delight in my journey, and it remains a delight to this day, to go, wow, I found healthy food that tastes great, that I love eating. It was so much fun for me discovering a broader range to my palate than salt, fat, and sugar, which used to be the majority of all I was tasting before. It's fun to notice how much more energy I have when I eat more vegetables. It's fun to notice how much clearer my mind is when I take time to do some exercise, when I create space in my life for some self-care. It's fun to be able to develop new skills and even physical attributes, part about like changing the shape and size of our body. For me, over quarantine last year, I started doing bodyweight exercises. And I've started to develop my core strength. I've started to develop abs. It's incredibly exciting. So let me use that example, because when I started that, I was thinking, well, this is going to hurt. I don't like bodyweight exercises. They're hard. It's going to be painful. So I kind of started with that. I'm like, oh, how can I force myself to do it? So instead, I found a workout that was an audio workout. I was being talked through. And it had great music, and it was very encouraging. The coach who was talking through the workshop was very encouraging. And I'm like, okay, this could be fun. Or even if it's going to hurt a little bit, it's going to be worth it. I'm going to enjoy the outcome of it. And I'm going to enjoy the experience of discovering how much more I can do. So I started by going, well, can I just do one of whatever the exercise was? Like, bicycle crunches was one that really stood out to me. I'm like, oh, I know. And it's so fun because I'm like, okay, well, I'll just do one. Can I just do one? Can I just do one on each side? Hey, okay, that was challenging, but I did do it. I could do it. Okay, could I do two? Could I do it again? How many can I do? Okay, that wasn't so bad. Right? It's so interesting as well that we find contrast in emotion, right? I think about this doing my yoga routine. Sometimes in my yoga, in the mornings, you'll do a good stretch, or you'll be in a position and you're like, wow, I'm really feeling it. And I love they use the words like, let's spice up the twist here, or this is a really juicy or spicy workout, things like that. You're like, that means it's going to hurt, or that means there's going to be pain, or it's going to be a lot of sensation. They talk about feel that line of sensation. And even just switching the language here helps. Right? I'm just like, oh, it's not pain, it's not hurting, this is just sensation. I'm just feeling sensation in my body. It's a shift from negative to neutral. I'm just noticing it. And then, particularly with yoga or stretching, you're doing the stretch and then you do the release. And you feel the flood, the release gives this sense of pleasure. But it's because of the contrast. So it's between the strain or the stretch and the ease, the relaxation. And both are enhanced by the contrast of having the experience. So we can change our perception of hardship, of failure, of difficulty by also contrasting it with the ease that comes. Some people tell me, they're really challenged writing everything down, recording what they're eating and drinking, and it's a big piece of work. Okay, Is it really? Can I just write some words on a piece of paper? Type a note on my phone? Can I just speak into my voice app? How much work actually is that? What we're usually concerned of, and this is perhaps a topic for another video, it's about being worried about the judgment we're going to impose on ourselves. Well, we just lost that, just observed it. And then notice how much more fun it gets as we're like, oh, I get to be empowered about my choices. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know what works for me. I know what to change next. I know every step forward because I have a map of what I am actually doing. I can see which choices align with my why, with my goal, with my reason for change. And I can see which ones don't. And as I have that record, I can see change over time. So it gets easier and easier and easier. You know, so many skills we can't do when we first start, right? We've learned every skill we have from the time we were born. Everything we can do was probably once hard. Driving a car, brushing our teeth, getting dressed, saying our name. But they get a lot easier with practice. So can I start small? Can I just do one piece? Can I just do one more repetition of this habit that I want? And can I congratulate myself for doing that? Can I be proud of it? Can I have fun with it? Can I make a game of it? If I can, I'm going to enjoy the experience more. Then I'm going to keep doing it. Then it's going to get easier and more fun. And I'm going to see more of the results I want instead of the results I have been creating from the belief that it's difficult. It starts from switching our beliefs. So if you've got those beliefs that it's difficult or challenging or hard, can you switch them to, what if it is easy? Let's just ask yourself the question. What if it could be? Like, you don't even have to believe me. What if you just open it up to yourself and go, what if it could be easy for me? What if I really could do this? What if it's totally possible? And even just asking the what if question starts to allow that wedge, if you like, that space in your brain to go, it might be. It could be. I believe it is. And before you know it, it is. All right. So for everyone who's watching, I really want you today to think about, what are you currently believing about losing weight? No judgment, just write them all down. Just notice it. And then ask yourself, is that the way I want to think about losing my weight? Is that the way I want to think about losing my weight? And if not, if I could just wave a magic wand, if I could just, sprinkle the fairy dust or whatever it is, and I got to choose how I felt about the journey, what I believed about the process, and I could choose anything, what would be more fun? What would be more encouraging? What would feel more loving? What would drive you towards that behavior instead of away from it? Let me know in the comments. What are your current beliefs about losing weight? And then let me know, would you like to keep them or change them? The answer is always in your mind. And you have the power to choose. Don't believe me? It's okay. But try it out. Do the experiment. Try it on for a week or a month. And see what happens. It all comes from your beliefs. So why not believe that it's totally possible? You can totally do it. And it can be both fun, enjoyable, and sustainable. Get to decide. If you want more help transitioning into the life that you want to be living, rather than the life that you have, then remember, you can always sign up for a free exploratory coaching session with me on my website. Go to livemorelife.com.au and click on free exploratory session. Fill in the form and I'll be in touch to help you out. Talk to you soon.